mass layoffs, low morale, and lots of uncertainty. Since Trump's return, the FDA has changed fast. MedPage Today got the first exclusive Q&A with new FDA Commissioner Marty Makary. Here's what you need to know.
So I'm writing this piece about morale at the FDA, and I'd spoken to a number of employees there, and I thought that it just made sense to give him a chance to respond. And because we do have a relationship, I reached out to Marty to get his responses on the record if I could. And as we were going through my questions, it was clear to me that this would be good for him and everybody if we got this out as a standalone Q&A as well. I'll say that the FDA insiders that I speak to, they literally said to me that they had heard things in this interview that they had not heard from their leadership. So they were saying, thanks for the intel because we're getting nothing. For example, the fact that there will be no reorganization at the FDA, that was news that we broke in that Q&A, and people were saying that that was a relief to them because many of them were bracing for something like we'd seen at the other HHS agencies. There's also just a real disconnect between what the rank and file FDA employees and scientists are telling me about these reductions in forces, these RIFs, and whether or not the RIFs have affected the FDA's ability to carry out its mission. In my interview with Commissioner Makary, Marty acknowledged for the first time, really, that there have been places where staffing is, to use his word, thin. So that was an acknowledgement that I think had not been out there, that yes, indeed, these RIFs weren't just getting rid of bloat. But I'm also hearing since then that people think that he's pretty insulated from how bad things are. And so there's a little bit of downplaying there, whether he knows it or not. I will just say that in our off-the-record conversation that he and I had, and I don't think he'll mind me, sharing this, I asked him whether he felt that there is a bubble that happens when you take on a role like that in DC that makes it harder to remember that the people who are critical or on the other side, really they want the same thing. They want people to just have the best outcomes. And I asked him about that bubble, and he certainly acknowledged that bubble, that it's there and it's real, and that he's trying to be aware of that. And I think that's part of why he wanted to have that conversation with me on the record, and I hope that'll continue.